If you've ever watched a Ronda's Kitchen, you would understand that we are cast iron enthusiasts. These things really are a pan for life. If you treat them right, if you just maintain at the very minimum and not want to throw your pans away and get new ones, these things will last you a lifetime. As you cook with these, it will also season the pan. It'll add a lot of flavor to whatever food you're cooking. I really became a believer. We started harvesting our own animals, our steer Kobe. I love that animal. If you follow us, you understand that I raised that animal for over a year. Animal fat is one of the ways that you can season. It just brings it to life. It adds so much flavor, and it's just so tasty. I have a brand new Smithy ironware skillet, and I want to show you how to season and maintain this cast iron pan. All right, let's do the unboxing. We have a number 12, which means that's 12 inches, I wish. Smithy Ironware Company cast iron pan. So what we'll be doing here today is I'm gonna go ahead and rinse it off, not with soap or anything like that, just a little warm water. I'm gonna give it a good wipe down, dry it off. Then I'm gonna get some grapeseed oil. Here we go. I'm gonna put a very thin coat on the entire pan. Then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put in the oven at 450 degrees for 1 hour. After the hour's done, I'm just gonna turn off the heat and let it cool down. Okay, so we have the brand new pan. Just gonna rinse it off, get all the kind of stuff off from traveling, and just kind of give it a quick little rub. Remember that you want to dry the entire pan. So what that means is this backside as well. And when you coat it, you will coat this backside as well as the cooking side. This is an entire piece, and you don't want it to rust anywhere at any time. It's just better maintenance, and you'll get longer life out of your pan that way. So now we have it rinsed off, dried off, and ready to oil. Just a little bit. I like to coat the inside first, because on these Smithy cast iron pans, the inside is very smooth. It's machined down to make it as smooth as possible for you. So I don't want particles from the paper towel to end up inside the pan. If anything, I would rather it be on the outside. And remember, you want to get every surface, the entire surface. I like to use grapeseed oil. You don't want to use an olive oil or anything like that. Grapeseed oil or vegetable oil. That way it won't get tacky or sticky. You also want to apply a very thin coat. You don't want it to puddle up. And for some, you would think that this is like a tedious process, something that it isn't worth doing on a pan. You don't have to do this very often. This is, again, me just wanting to show you guys how quick and easy something like this can be, and it'll give you a great long-lasting coat over your pan. It's not something, I think on the ones that we have here at Browne Acres, I've only done this once, and we've had them for 3 years now. So it's not something that you have to do all the time. It's not something you have to stay on top of necessarily. There are different ways that you can season a pan. Today I'm going to show you the oven way. What I did is this oven over here has been preheated to 450 degrees. I'm going to place this skillet in that oven upside down. That way, if any oil or anything like that was built up on the inside, it will not pool at the bottom of this pan, because this is your cooking surface, right? So you want to keep that as clean as possible. Like I said, a very thin layer throughout the entire pan. You're good to go, but just in case, still put it in the oven upside down to make sure, to guarantee you don't have any pools or puddles at the bottom of your cooking surface. So now I'm getting the pan ready to put in the oven. It's been heated to 450 degrees, and I'm gonna place it upside down, about in the middle of the oven. Ooh, it's a little warm. Now we start a timer for 1 hour. 1 hour. When you season this bad boy, it will change in color a little bit. They usually get a little bit darker. As you continue to cook with it, it'll almost get black. And that's not a bad thing. You're not ruining the pan. These are things that are very hard to actually ruin. Even when they're completely rusted out, you can just condition it back and bring it back to life and reuse these cast iron pans. Here we have our skillet. The used one, the abused one, but also the maintained one. As you can see, we have crusties in here. We have little dry spots. We got all that kind of good stuff that you might see in a used pan. And I just want to walk you through how to maintain this. Now, this is something that honestly we do maybe once a month. We don't do it very often. If anything, at the end of cooking, we'll scrape out all the chunky stuff. We'll put a little bit of oil in there and we'll just rub it down and we're good to go for a very long time. We're here, you can see a bunch of debris, chunks of food that are left in the pan. We're just gonna go ahead and get rid of them. Just a nice little warm water. Just try to get it out. Once you have most of it out, just gonna take a spoonful of this. This is what we use here. It's called Love It Sundries Cast Iron Conditioner. Take about a spoonful, and it has some sea salt and some different oils in there. So you really want to get yourself one of these cast iron scrubbers. This sponge here with the Scotch Brite on the end, it doesn't work the same. It doesn't work like one of these here. Please invest into one of these sponges. They last forever. You can't go wrong. These things will get thrown out over time, and that's good for other stuff. But for a cast iron pan, just get in here and you want to get in here and just scrub a dub. Get all the junk off. I'm focusing on the bottom here in just a little bit. You just go up here on the lip, on the edge of the pan. Really scrub, give it a good scrub a dub, like you're washing your ass. And then when you're done, you just give it a little rinse. You'll see too on these sponges how much you're actually getting off. This is, it's a man's sponge. It's like chainmail in the medieval times, you know? You didn't see them out there wearing wetsuits. You saw them out there in fucking chainmail. Get yourself a chainmail sponge. So now that we have it all washed out, rinsed out, good to go, we're just gonna dry it out as much as we can. Get some paper towels, get the handle going. Just try to get in there as much as you can. Again, I like to start on the inside because that's the smoothest surface of this pan. Then you work towards the back side. You can see I may need to apply some oil to the back of this pan. You can see it's been used and worn. Let's cook some delicious meals. So we'll go ahead and add some here in just a second. Get some grape seed. Just gonna add a little bit there. You don't need to add any to here because in this mixture, this has oil in it. Just want to make sure we get all the little debris out. And then we're gonna move over here to the stove. We're gonna turn the stove on to high. We're gonna get it heated up nice and hot. And as soon as the pan starts to smoke, we're gonna go ahead and turn off the heat, push to the side, we're good to go. Pan has been maintained. Got the carbon steel pan. I've already cleaned it the same way I did the maintenance pan earlier. This one we're heating up right now, and as soon as this starts to smoke, I'm gonna go ahead and put some of this grapeseed oil, put a nice thin coat over the entire cooking surface. You'll see the color change as well as you start to do this at home. We're starting to get a little bit of smoke here. Get some paper towels. Get it ready. R-E-A-D-E-H. You see it starting to smoke now. We're gonna let it smoke a little bit more. This is why we have the fan going and the window open, and Mochi's walking in there because she thinks she's gonna get some scraps, but she's not. Silly old girl. Okay, we're gonna throw some grape seed. Ooh, it's nice and warm. Hot. Actually, not warm, but hot. It's actually really pretty when you do this to the pan. You start to see all the different colors that start to come up. But again, you still want to make sure nothing puddles on your cooking surface, because again, that can lead to like a tacky kind of a film, and you don't want that. You want it to be as smooth as possible. We'll just do it one more time and we'll call it good. Whew. It's hot. And this is a hot oil, so it will burn you very quickly if you're not careful. Make sure you get enough on there. And then there you go, you can turn off the heat. Let it cool down. And this is another way you can go ahead and season your cast iron or your carbon steel pans. And while I'm doing this, I'm also seasoning that brand new pan down here in the oven. You see the sweat. Rhonda's getting lucky tonight. So we have this one I maintained just a little bit ago. We have this one I just seasoned. It's a beautiful pan there. Brand new skillet out of the oven. Oh, look at that bad boy. Here we go. We have a brand new cast iron with the Smithy ironware. They pre-season it for you. Just wanted to show you how to take any cast iron, season it. If you really want to get a good seasoning on your cast iron skillet, you will do this process 2-3 times yourself. That way it's fully seasoned, you're good to go, has multiple coats of oil on it, and it'll be like a slip and slide. Beautiful. The farmer skillet here that we did on the stovetop, it's the same thing. This way is a little bit quicker, It does a great job. You're bringing it up to a high heat and you're really getting the oil into it and having that bond between the metal and the oil. And again, whichever you prefer, it's totally up to you. I'll do it both ways. I'm ambidextrous, slap ass with both hands, and good night.
Oh, I'm getting lucky tonight.
Damn right you are.
Titties!